Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I have a question. How many times do you stand in front of your closet and say to yourself, nothing to wear? Or perhaps, how often do you look in the mirror and say, same old, same old? Or perhaps, how often do you ask yourself, why do I look the same day after day, week after week? Well, if those questions have entered your mind or crossed your lips, this video is for you. The smart way to solve these problems and save time and money is to apply some very simple techniques for layering. Layering is genius in the autumn and the winter months. Not only do we have so many fabrics and shapes available to us, but we have to consider warmth and the fact that sometimes our need for warmth may well change. Layering allows us to accommodate those changes. By the end of this video, I'm hoping that you will have either been reminded of the layering you did last winter or picked up some new tips you've never applied before. Most of the items that I'll be wearing in this video are old. So I encourage you to go to your wardrobe and identify what pieces you might be able to use in order to apply some of these layering techniques. This is a styling video, not a shopping video. If any of the items are particularly new to my wardrobe, I will of course link them down below, but probably not as many as you'd find in your typical shopping video. Outfit number one is a perfectly cute black monochrome outfit. We have a simple black V-neck cashmere sweater together with a black pair of barrel leg jeans and a simple black boot. Nothing is wrong with this outfit. It's perfect, but it might be just a little bit boring. Let's see how we might be able to make it a wee bit more interesting. Let's begin by adding a bit of jewelry and a belt. Belt is kind of jewelry around the waist, I would say. And of course, the white tee under the black cashmere V-neck sweater creates beautiful high contrast. High contrast is when the white really pops because it's underneath a dark color. The outfit definitely has improved, I would say. Let's see if we can take it one next step further. Let's see if we can add a blazer on top. A cropped blazer would be perfect in terms of adhering to the layering rules of proportion. We have a barrel leg jean down below, so having a cropped jacket that's reasonably straight line gives us that beautiful, beautiful sense of proportion. It maintains balance in the outfit. Why not add a bag? And then, depending on how fussy you're feeling on that particular day, you may choose to add a scarf either around your neck or just on your bag. And maybe, depending on how chilly it is, particularly where I live at the end of November, early December, it might not be time for an overcoat, but it might be time for gloves. This autumn and winter, we're going to see lots of gloves, and not just wrist length, but even elbow length. And I believe we're going to begin to see them in many colors. Outfit number two would be my typical stay at home and do some videos, editing, and that sort of thing. I might layer up a tee just to make it a little bit more interesting and wear it with my very trusty gray denim and a pair of ballet flats. I'd be cozy, comfortable, and working. But if I then decided that I was going to leave the house and be out and about, I might want to change it up and add an interesting cardigan. This is a brand new in cardigan at Massimo Dutti. And what I love most about it is three things: the shape, the scarf, and the pockets. The shape is beautiful. So if you're wearing a straight leg jean or a straight leg trouser, to have a slightly more bulky cardigan on top is just wonderful. I just love it. And I love the fact that this cardigan has a built-in scarf. As you can see in the video, you can leave the scarf on for warmth or just for interest, or if you like, you can unbutton it. The scarf is detachable. I just love that. I also love the fact that it had pockets. So if I was running errands and didn't feel like I wanted to grab any gloves, I could just pop them in my pockets. And then I decided to take this outfit up a notch. And I did so by adding my trusty classic oversized blazer. This is an old blazer. It's an old standby. I just love it. I love it that it has a fine pinstripe going through it in gray, which often picks up beautifully well with gray trousers, or in this case, the gray denim. I love adding leather. And a knee-high boot is always my favorite shape. I find it's the classic style that never seems to go out of style. And then there's a question of, what do we want to do to add a little more interest on top of the blazer? There's always the possibility of adding a scarf or tying a sweater around your neck. This season, we're going to see lots and lots of sweaters tied around the neck in the old-fashioned preppy style many of us may remember. I'm also noticing that there are more and more options that people are taking about where to tie the sweater. And one that seems to be rather dominant is tying it around the waist. I show you as an option. Layering is personal, and you're going to find some of these outfits more or less relevant to you, depending on your body type, your wardrobe, your lifestyle, and your climate. Outfit number 3 looks pretty good from the start. We have a striped button-up shirt, a pair of woolen dark gray trouser that are elasticated at the waist, never my favorite. Thus, the burgundy belt plays a really important role to hide that elastic. I don't find elastic waists terribly flattering. I do love the pockets, but I love it more with that burgundy belt. And of course, adding a color makes me wonder if adding another item that's the same color might be a little bit of sparkle. Sure enough, we've added a burgundy cardigan just tied around the neck. This outfit now is just a little more interesting, a little more layered. And let's take it a little step further by adding this lovely shiny jacket in faux leather, a lovely shiny black from Zara. It's a super duper great find. Not only do I love the bassoon shape of the faux leather jacket, I love the stand-up collar. I think that is just so beautiful and also very practical in that it adds a little bit of warmth. I also decided, rather than leaving the cardigan under the jacket, to take it out and put it around the jacket. If it were a real wintry, cold day, perhaps I would leave the cardigan on and put a burgundy scarf on the outside of the jacket. You'll also notice that I have managed to find a pair of burgundy gloves that I think I will really enjoy this autumn and winter. So I'm definitely going to add them to this outfit. Outfit number 4 is a lovely knit 2-piece dress I picked up in the Nordstrom sales. You know how much I love a sweater dress, and I love it even more if it's 2 pieces, because it means that I can use those pieces to create so many other outfits. So this to me is my dream addition to my wardrobe. As it's this kind of brown gold khaki color, I initially added a brown belt. I belt everything, that's because I don't have a waist, but I do actually believe that most people look better with a belt than not. Rather than a brown belt, I decided to do something that would give us a color pop. So I chose snakeskin. Thankfully, I have snakeskin shoes as well. So the shoes and belt really give it a little bit of interest, I think. The belt has silver metal on it, so I chose a silver earring. And then as I was thinking about this outfit, I thought, I'm not going to add an oversized blazer because that's what one would think of first. That would be the usual choice. Instead, I'm going to make a thoughtful choice and may add another way of layering, and that is to use length. Rather than adding a short sweater or a short blazer, I decided to try out a long black sweater I have owned since the earth cooled. And when I added it to this outfit, I was very pleased. I love the color pop that this black sweater adds to this outfit. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think about adding something long over a two-piece sweater dress? I also took a chance and decided to remove the belt and put it outside of the black sweater. You'll also notice that I've added camel colored gloves and a dark brown bag. Not wanting to do too much matchy-matchy. For me, it works because I love the fact that we have basically a tonal representation of colors. I'm quite happy that we have the khaki brown in the dress, a camel color in the gloves, and a richer chocolate brown, if you will, in the bag, because in fact, each of those colors exist in the snakeskin print. It works for me. Let me know what you think. Outfit number 5 is the dressiest outfit in this video. It begins with a bodysuit I wear all the time. It's a ANINE Bing piece. I'll link the ANINE Bing video up above, just in case you haven't had time to take a look. She really is one of my favorite designers. We've paired the bodysuit with a long column leather skirt. This leather skirt is one of those pieces you can just use year after year after year. It's simple because it has a slit in the back. It's very easy to walk in. The layering technique we've used so far is in the jewelry. I often mix pearls or stones with gold or silver. I think it just adds a wonderful little bit of sparkle. When I do that, I always wear the simplest earring possible so as not to overwhelm the layering in the neck. And then the shoes. The shoes are a pair of black Gucci heels from when Tom Ford was the creative director of Gucci. At the time we lived in London. We were in London from 1999 to 2003. And during that time, there was a benefit, and Tom Ford himself attended, and he walked around this makeshift store with his shoes, and I think there might have been clothes as well. And because I was with my then very young daughter, he decided to come over and chat with us. He couldn't believe I brought a little one, I think she would have been 12 at the time, to this show, and he was so sweet to her. Anyway, I loved them, I bought them, and I've been wearing them ever since. So they qualify as vintage, even though I bought them in their original box. Anyway, enough about the shoes. The next step in this outfit was to create some drama. And I thought, what better to include in this video than a very recent new-in luxury piece that I've purchased. What you're looking at is a poncho from Totem. I live in the mid-Atlantic states, and here we don't really get a bold winter, though sometimes we may have a little flurry of snow. So something like this, which is a very thick woolen poncho, is something I'll get a lot of use on. And as you can see, I think it gets quite dressy when it's added to this long column skirt. But I also believe that I'll be able to wear this poncho for casual. So I hope that it will become one of these pieces that I use the technique of adding dramatic volume, one of the layering techniques, both for dressy and for casual. That's it for me. I thank you as always for watching my video. I just appreciate the time that you share with me. Please do your usual, give us comments and likes. And if you've particularly loved this video and you haven't yet joined to become part of our family, we would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. I hope you're feeling inspired to take another look in your wardrobe and see if you can identify maybe one, maybe two of the techniques that we've talked about to make your outfits interesting and turn getting dressed into a happy moment in our lives. I hope you are able to be reminded of an option of layering or perhaps learning something new. I hope every day you will get up, get dressed, be happy. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.